Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Thursday, November 13th. Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and David is back in the house as he is on Thursdays with us, ready to break down the Thursday NHL card. A big slate, looking forward to it. A very solid Wednesday night with the games last night, even on a short card. Pretty profitable night. It started with the New York Rangers in a crazy first period. It was just nuts. It seemed like the puck was bouncing all over the place. There were deflection goals bouncing in off players' skates and sticks, and it was just one of those weird, crazy periods where it had 7 goals, 4 by the Rangers, 3 by the Lightning, but the Rangers were able to kind of, quiet the game down a little bit from that point on. Played a pretty solid road game the rest of the way, and were able to close out the Tampa Bay Lightning. You would have thought you were watching the Giants and the Bucks, as Alex said in our group chat last night. 7-3 in favor of the New York Rangers last night, and building on the win they had against Nashville. And all of a sudden, the puck has started to go in for them. But I like what Mike Sullivan said after last night's win. He said, we should have scored more goals than we did early in the season. But even in those losses where we weren't scoring, he felt their defensive game, their team structure was really, really strong. And yet now they've seen 2 games in a row where they've scored goals in bunches, 6 against Nashville, 7 against Tampa Bay. But he actually feels their defensive game has gone back a little bit in these last 2 games, even though they've won and they've scored 13 goals. And that's human nature in this sport. When you're not scoring, you really, really clamp down defensively, and it just feels like the puck's never going to go in for you, and you got to overcompensate by playing extra hard defensively. And then when you start to see the puck go in like it has for the Rangers the last 2 games, then you become a little lax all of a sudden defensively, a little looser. You're a little bit more casual with the puck, and I think you're seeing that maybe these last couple games. I think that's what Mike Sullivan's alluding to. Even though we've won the last 2 games and the puck has started to go in finally, hasn't loved their structure nearly as much. But nevertheless, 2 straight wins for the Rangers. They get the job done there. Oilers and Flyers, draw season. If you don't believe in it yet, you'll never believe in it at this point. But we cashed the draw with the Oilers and Flyers. Need a little bit of not good fortune, because it was the right call, but it looked like at 1-1, the Flyers had taken the lead and maybe won the game with 20 seconds left, but it definitely was offside. Good challenge by Chris Knobloch, and it takes that potential game-winning goal off the board. Game goes to overtime, and Jack Roslovic gets his 2nd straight overtime game-winning goal for the Oilers for a 2-1 Edmonton victory in that game. Sucks to lose the Flyers there, but the draw does hit at plus 340. A great price it was with that. So, again, great to see that come through. Oilers continue to be draw machines right now as well. And then in the 2 later games, the Buffalo Sabres started out well against the Utah Mammoth, as injury-riddled and short-handed as they are. 2-0 Buffalo, but 4 unanswered goals for the 5 unanswered goals by the Utah Mammoth, and they beat the Buffalo Sabres 5-2 in that game. And like I said, the Sabres, it doesn't get any easier for them. A lot of injuries, struggling right now to win games. And now you got to play in Colorado here tonight, and a terrible night for their top line. Invisible were Tage Thompson and Alex Tuch. Couldn't find them with a telescope on the ice last night for the Buffalo Sabres in that loss. But Utah, after a tough road trip, bounces back strong at home. And then New Jersey, Chicago was a great hockey game. It really was. Great finale on TNT last night. Back and forth it went. I thought for Spencer Knight and the Blackhawks, every goal New Jersey scored, it felt like was a beauty. Was a great goal, great passing. I mean, the pass from Hughes to Mercer in the 3rd period goal to tie it 2-2 was something else. The power play goal that Chicago scored in the 1st period of that game on the 5-on-3 was just ridiculous puck movement by the Blackhawks, getting Markstrom swimming all over in front of the crease. Couldn't keep the puck out there, but great puck movement. The Mercer pass, or the pass from Hughes to Mercer on the 2-2 goal, the dirty dangles by Sam Lafferty of all people to give Chicago the 3-2 lead. The incredible, pass too on the 3-3 goal. Simon Nemec couldn't be stopped last night. And then of all people, Simon Nemec, who has had the best game of his career last night for sure, gets the overtime winner and a hat trick goal in overtime to beat Chicago last night 4-3. We do cash the over. Another draw comes through for Alex and I, which was great. And like I said, that was a great hockey game. I think for Chicago, to get a point out of that, you're disappointed because you had the lead multiple times, but you're coming off the road trip. Fatigue definitely set in a bit for Chicago because the run of play, the flow of play was going significantly against them in the second and third period. New Jersey was carrying the play. But to get a point out of that, you'll take it. And Spencer Knight, even in a loss, was tremendous. He couldn't have done anything really about the goals that were scored. Think about it. The Mercer goal, perfect pass, no chance. Third goal, again, great passing by the Devils, no chance. And just a perfect blistering top corner shot by Nemitz in overtime. No chance again for Spencer Knight on that one. So, like I said, you'll take it for Chicago, another point in the bank, and you move on. Alex, your thoughts on a pretty exciting Wednesday night, even for just 4 games on the board?
Yeah, like I said, these Wednesdays have actually been really fun the last couple of weeks, and especially when you have the draws hitting. Listen, folks, whether you like it or don't like it, learn to love it because it's the best thing going today. As Ric Flair once said, draw season, we're talking about 28% of the games that have been played now in the NHL this season going past regulation. And when you're still getting prices at plus 340, plus 350, why would you turn that value down? I don't understand it. This has been something that's been going on for years and years now, and to see it happening this early, of course, like I said, this isn't the classic draw season parameters, but we're seeing these close games, these close battles, teams getting goals in the last second, whether it be in a period or certainly toward the end of regulation to force those games in the OT. And we're seeing guys like Simon Nemec step up and deliver big-time goals in situations to tie games and win games. It's fascinating to see how tight and how close these games are in the first half of the season. I'm just like, we're expecting the drop off at some point, but when does it happen? And my God, when this picks back up from where we are now in February and March after the Olympics, we could be watching Game 7 quality playoff style hockey played well before the postseason happens, based on how tight some of these games have been. And it from an entertainment value, it's 10 out of 10. So it's been nice to cash some plays along with it.
No question, and that's been the key. And David's one of the new contributors here to our show, and great to have him with us every Thursday. He's done a nice job, but he wasn't around last year and 2 years ago. And David, I shit you not, I don't know why people got so angry with us and irritated with us, but we legitimately have people in our YouTube comments and in the chat come in and say, you guys with the draws, I'm sick of you, the draws. I'm sick of you guys giving out the draws so much. You're so predictable. You're so boring. It's just, it's so obvious you guys with all these draw bets. And
I got one message.
Why are you complaining? Why are you so angry? Do you not like plus 340 winners? Do you not like plus 350 winners?
They're happening more often. It feels like it's the same teams every time. I think it's more than just it's definitely more than just a coin flip on Hail Mary. So
if you have an issue with anyone on this program giving out draw plays at any point, stay broke.
That's right. Don't take advantage of them. We'll just keep on trying to cash nice plus prices. David's one that I've seen him on his Twitter post lots of plus prices. He's going to take bigger shots. I've seen it before, live shots.
Yeah, I'm 1 for 1 this year on draw bets. So
yeah, there you go.
I had one at one, so that worked out.
Yeah, exactly. David, your thoughts on last night? How was it for you?
It went pretty well for me. Went 4-1. Only loss was on that Flyers plus 120. It was a tough one. Thought they had it won with 25 seconds left, and I mean it was a pointless offside. Wasn't even related to the play, but it is what it is. Got the over in Utah. Got the Rangers money line, that was solid, and the Devils to end the night. So those are some pretty good national broadcast games.
They were. I mean, tons of goals in the first game, and New Jersey-Chicago was very entertaining. So no doubt it was a good night for the viewers that love hockey that tuned into TNT last night, for sure. No question about that. And yes, Rangers best bet for me on the show cast yesterday. I just really felt the Rangers right from the beginning of the day, that it was a good spot, good price for them. Tampa Bay banged up. Now, again, Tampa Bay was really banged up. Cirelli out, Hedman out last night. McDonough's obviously still been missing. Nick Paul's out. I mean, they were really shorthanded. I like John Cooper. I respect the hell out of what he said in training camp. The excuse machine The Lightning media was starting to peddle the excuse machine for that 7-3 game last night, saying, well, but you guys had a lot of injuries. And John Cooper was having none of it, saying, I don't want to hear anything about the injuries. I put out a lineup there that I think is capable of competing and winning the hockey game. I don't want to hear anything about the injuries, and that being the catalyst for the loss last night. So John Cooper, much respect for him for saying that last night. All right, great stuff, guys. Let's go to Thursday. It's a huge card. Let's begin. LA Kings, Toronto Maple Leafs, the best streak in the NHL, as far as I'm concerned from a betting standpoint right now, is in this very game. And I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Los Angeles, rather, minus 135 road favorites, 5.5 the total in this game. Of course, Toronto, not only 3 straight losses, 2 to Boston, 1 to Carolina. The injuries mounting. Austin Matthews, lower body injury with the hit he took at the hands of Nikita Zadorov on Tuesday. He is out at least the next couple of games, probably upwards of 1 week that he'll miss. So not that shocking that he's going to miss a little bit of time. So he's out. Anthony Stolarz sidelined day-to-day for the Toronto Maple Leafs as well. So, the injuries mounting for a team that's just struggling right now, struggling in particular defensively at this point in time. Matthews, Stolarz, Scott Lawton's back on IR again. They just got him back. Of course, these defensive woes have coincided with the best shutdown defenseman, Chris Tanev, being out of the lineup, and he remains out for the Toronto Maple Leafs right now. So like I said, it's tough to back Toronto right now. And even though Toronto is very vulnerable, struggling, can't find their way defensively right now, even in spite of all that and all the injuries, I can't get to Los Angeles at this price, minus 135. I mean, it's moved already, obviously, with the injury news, the fact that the Kings are playing good hockey on the road, and that's for sure. It's basically the reverse of last year, where the Kings were dominant at home, couldn't win on the road. This year, they've been great on the road, and they've been pretty lackluster at home. So it's kind of gone the other way for the LA Kings. Darcy Kemper is in net for them. No surprise for Toronto that Dennis Hildeby will get the start. Joe Woll is still in his conditioning stint right now in the American Hockey League. So it is going to be Dennis Hildeby getting the start here for the Leafs in this game. I'm just keeping it simple, guys. Nothing on the side for me, but over 5.5, minus 130. We're talking about the best total streak in the NHL right now. 12-0 to the over for the Toronto Maple Leafs. In their last 12 games, 12 straight overs. We've been riding this run for multiple games now, and we'll just keep riding it and rolling with it until it stops cashing. So Kings Leafs over 5.5 for me. Minus 130 is what you can get with that. Alex, what do you think here? Kings Leafs.
It's funny. We actually bet this yesterday because we were talking as we got off of into the show. We were kind of just talking about a couple of things, and we both liked that over 5.5. But you actually get a better price than that. Minus 128 is available at FanDuel, so that's a few cents cheaper than what I got. I get minus 132. But loving that over 5.5. So you got to ride that, and stunned to see it even being at 5.5 at most spots. I thought this would be 6, especially 6.5. Once the confirmation of Hildeby. Hildeby is a good goaltender. Numbers a little shaky in the first couple of starts up here, but like I said, I believe Toronto bungled this whole thing in a big fashion. He should have been the backup the whole time, knowing that Wall was having these issues and he was going to have this conditioning stint. They just messed this up, and I think Hildeby would have been in better form had he been up here the whole time and actually splitting time with Stolarz rather than the way that they jumbled this. So with that said, I like the over here. Could see where this maybe is a Kings win, like I said, playing well on the road, but no way you could back them laying a price like this.
Yeah, just over 5.5 for me. David, anything you like here? LA, Toronto.
Yeah, I got the Kings here. I took him at minus 120 this morning. I would still take it at minus 130. I think Hildeby's a pretty big downgrade from Stolarz. He was last year was minus 5 goals saved above expected in 6 games. I mean, the Kings aren't really a very fun team to bet as a favorite on the road, but they've won expected goals in 8 of the last 10. I mean, the Leafs defense has just been horrendous. I mean, if you watch it, it's even worse than the analytics are saying. The Canes had like 10 breakaways. I mean, couldn't really put them away and still just put up a boatload of goals.
Same shit against Boston, David, the other night.
It's
they're
ugly.
giving up think about how bad this is for them. They're giving up multiple breakaways, multiple odd man rushes, like 3-4 odd man rushes. They had a power play Boston the other night. Zaka, he's in all alone. How does that happen? He's in
Oh,
all
yeah.
alone on a penalty kill that Toronto's on at the moment at that time. Hideous defensive play. And Berube's been all over them about it, and we're not seeing any improvement.
Yeah, it's rough. I mean, I don't really know how you can bet them without Matthews, and I think the Stolarz has been holding them together a little bit from just getting beaten down on the defensive end. So yeah, I like the Kings tonight up to minus 135.
No doubt. Like I said, I can't back Toronto. It would be LA or not. I don't love the price on LA, but I totally understand anybody betting LA here. It's tough to wrap around getting to the Leafs at this point in time. No question about that. As far as props in this game, I like the Byfield look. Someone mentioned Byfield and the fact that he is, from the area coming back home. Yeah, I think there's a bunch of these players on many teams, but I know there's a few for the LA Kings from that standpoint. Playing close to home in Toronto, so they might be worth a look. Byfield, for example, here for the LA Kings. I still think Yoel Armia on the top line for the LA Kings. There's value as long as he stays there. For me, Bobby McMahon, Nick Robertson, I'd maybe look at for the Toronto Maple Leafs as far as maybe finding the back of the net for them here moving forward. I believe, let me just see here. Calle Yarncroke, I'm going back to Calle. Calle Yarncroke is back in the lineup after being a healthy scratch. So definitely I like that angle. Him back in the lineup. He was scoring goals early in the season. I think he might be worth a look. And yeah, Perry's never a bad option. The old man, Scory Perry for the Los Angeles Kings. All right, next up, we've got Washington, Florida. Florida minus 120 home favorites, 5.5 the total in this game. I cashed a ticket. I'm sorry to say this, David, but I cashed a ticket with Washington the other night against the Carolina Hurricanes, 4-1. I just felt the schedule, that was the spot where it was going to catch up to the Hurricanes a little bit. Great run, obviously, with this undermanned blue line and all the injuries back there. But I figured with Washington rested and off a couple of losses, you were going to get a good effort from the Capitals, and you did. And it was, man, I never knew that. This is stemming from last year, too. I never knew the Capitals and Hurricanes became such a bad blood rivalry, too. My goodness. Anderson got run over in that game by Dowd, and it led to a big fracas there in that game. So, yeah, definitely a little bit of animosity, which is good to see. We love that in this sport between the Caps and the Hurricanes the other night. Now they're playing another division team. Florida just can't seem to put 2 games in a row together, 2 good games. If you actually look, they're coming off, I think, a really, really much needed, strong road effort against Vegas, winning the final game of that road trip 3-2. But you look at this Panthers team, since winning 3 games in a row to start the season, they haven't won 2 in a row since. The Panthers are 0-5 in their last 5 games off a win. So they have had a real time putting good performances together. Washington actually swept the season series, if you could believe it, over Florida last year. Logan Thompson confirmed in net for the Capitals, and it's going to be Daniil Tarasov getting the start tonight for Florida. 0-3, the Panthers winless in Tarasov's 3 starts this year. I like the Caps again tonight. Took him the other night. I like him again here in this spot. I think there's a reason the price has come down. I think looking to build some momentum here. Florida also coming off that long West Coast trip, first game. A little bit of a dubious spot for them. Not to mention the inability to win 2 in a row is very real for Florida. The last 5 times they've had a chance to win 2 games in a row, they've failed to get the job done. So I'm on Washington here. I got a better price than what's out there now. I got it at close to plus 115, plus 120, but still at even money. It's Capitals here in this one for me. Alex, what do you think? Washington, Florida.
Yeah, this is a capital spot for me as well. I've got minus $1.05, but I also went with the flat team total over 3 there at MGM as well.
All right, David, what do you like in here? Caps, Panthers.
Yeah, I took the Caps plus 120 with you last night. The Panthers have just not been impressive to me. I know they got that win over Vegas a few nights ago, but I mean, they got pretty lucky in that game, outplayed pretty handedly. Panthers have lost expected goals in 5 straight, and the Capitals have been positive expected goals in 6 of their last 7 at even strength. So yeah, I think this is a good spot for them. I think they got a little bit fortunate against the Canes, but honestly, the style that they play is great for matching up against these solid teams. So yeah, I got the Caps.
All right, liking the Caps as well here, David, for this matchup. Yeah, prop wise, I mean, even though I'm on Washington, still can look at a few Florida props. Jesper Boquist is going to be on the third line tonight with some of these injuries, obviously, that they're dealing with Bennett and Samoskevich. So Jesper Boquist is, I feel like this could be one of those nights he finds the back of the net when you don't expect it. And we know he's capable of that. We saw him even chip in a bit during the playoff run for the Florida Panthers as well. Brad Marchand has scored a goal in 5 straight games. So it's hard to turn down, Brett with betting a Brad Marchand goal prop with what we've seen from him. And by the way, he's also scored. Here's an interesting little situation too. He's scored in over a quarter of the recent times he's faced Washington. So that's something to keep in mind as well with Marchand. And maybe a little down the board, worth a shot here. He scored in back-to-back games after really slumping down the lineup for Washington. Brandon Duhaime, and you can get north of plus 800 for him to find the back of the net here in this one. All right, Boston, Ottawa. Doesn't it feel like these teams have played each other 8 million times so far this year? Here we go again, another Bruins and Senators game. Ottawa minus 160, home favorite, 6 the total in this game. I'm finally, hopefully I'm not too late. And this is watch this be Ian the kibosh here on Boston. Hopefully I'm not too late to the party, but I have not been on Boston very much during this 7-game win streak, but I did take plus 140 with the Bruins here tonight in this game. I mean, they're playing well. And everyone freaking out about Boston missing Casey Middlestat. He's such an overrated player, it's mind-boggling. And the same thing with Elias Lindholm, rather. He's so freaking overrated, that guy. Like, they don't miss him as much as people think, as far as I'm concerned. So, like I said, Boston playing good hockey, and I like the decision of Marco Sturm to put Joonas Korpisalo in net, because Jeremy Swayman has had a real bugaboo with Ottawa. For some reason, Jeremy Swayman has not played well against the Senators. He was in net for that 7-2 blowout the Senators had over the Bruins earlier this season. So Korpisalo actually has played better against Ottawa for this team than Swayman has. So just ride in the win streak, 7 in a row. You're getting plus 140. Ottawa's too inconsistent to trust as a favorite of this magnitude. I like the draw, obviously. These are two teams that have definitely played close, tight to the vest hockey. Last game between these two teams in Boston went to overtime, 3-2 Bruin win. So the draw to me is very much worth a look here at, that great plus, 320, 330, 340 price. It'll be in that range. And I am on first period of full game over as well here in this game, over by Fecta. So lots going on for me in this game. Bruins, draw, over by Fecta. Alex, Bruins, Senators.
Yeah, love this draw here. You've got a Bruins team that in this 7-game win streak, 4 of their games have been decided by 1 goal. 3 of them have gone past regulation. You've had 3 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams go past regulation. And, of course, with Ottawa, you've had 5 of their last 6 go past regulation. So, hammer in the draw here.
All right, David, what are you liking here? Boston, Ottawa.
Yeah, I'm with Alex here. I think I don't really bet a lot of draws, but I think if you're going to, this is a great spot. I think it's in the plus 325 range. One of the last 7 Senators games has had an expected goal margin over 1, which is really just shocking. And they've actually had 0 games this season with an even strength expected goals margin over 1 this season. So they just play every game close. I can't really bet them as a favorite here. I can't say Boston's a team. I think they're kind of at the top of their value right now. So I could definitely see this going to overtime.
That's happened to me a bunch. What happened to David just there? The brain wants to say something, but won't let you. Yeah, that's the way it is sometimes. But yeah, the draw is worth plus 350, says Aaron at DraftKings with the draw. So that's a really good
340, 350 shop around.
340 at FanDuel, 350 at DraftKings. So DraftKings looks like it's got the best price on that for sure. That's a great draw. That's a really, really good draw. There's another one I like too, a couple others actually, but this may be my favorite draw on this card tonight, this Boston Ottawa. I could definitely see it going to overtime. And we've been like Kreskin with these draw bets here the last several days. So we'll hopefully hit another one here with Boston, Ottawa tonight. As far as props in this game, do you buy into? Oh, by the way, Shane Pinto off the ice news extension for the Ottawa Senators. And look, he hasn't been scoring as much lately. I think now with that newly minted contract extension with the Ottawa Senators, this could be the night he finds that back of the net again. Parlay Pinto, an old friend of ours. We're going to take a look at his goal prop tonight here in this game. I think also, too, Pavel Zacha scoring in the last game might be worth a shot here. Alex Steves is up on the second line. This is a guy now with Zacha and Arvidsson. And he scored against his old team, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Used to be in the Leaf organization. He scored against them the other night. I think he might be worth a look. And I will go back to the Ridley Gregg, Michael Amadio for Ottawa as well, especially Amadio. He finally didn't score last game, but he's been very, very good of late. And we'll see if maybe he can find the back of the net one more time tonight. All right, Dallas and Montreal. Canadiens minus 120, home favorites, 5.5 the total here in this game. The Habs off probably one of their worst performances in some time. 5-1 loss to LA on home ice. Did not play well. Got shut down. And, we've talked about this with Montreal. The one team is the prototype of a team that can give them some issues. Heavy, hard, physical teams. And LA is kind of that type of team. And you could see Montreal struggle with that. Dallas has some of that, but they're definitely not a full-blown physical type team. So this is definitely a Montreal. I would expect Montreal to certainly play better here on home ice. They've been a good bounce-back team most of the year, the Montreal Canadiens as well. We'll see how this one plays out. Casey DeSmith will get the start in net for the Stars in this game. Jakub Dobeš will be in net for the Montreal Canadiens. Now with Dobeš, 6-0-1 is his record this season. He's got one overtime loss. That's it, and 6 wins. So he's been great, but he has been not nearly as effective and sharp the last few starts, because if you look at his last 3 starts, he's allowed 3 goals or more in each of his last 3 starts. So not quite shutting the door like he did early in the year. This is definitely an over for me. Montreal's another team like Toronto. They're on an 8-game over streak. 8-0 to the over for Montreal in their last 8 games. I'm just riding it. I think we can get there with this one. Over 5.5, minus 115. This is another draw for me as well. Dallas and Montreal. Montreal's been one of the stronger draw teams with their games going past regulation frequently this year. Just look at the last 10 games alone. They've had half of them go past regulation. 4 of the last 6 for Montreal have gone past regulation. Dallas, 4 of their last 7 have gone past regulation, and they've gone past regulation now in 3 of their last 4 road games entering tonight, the Dallas Stars, including the Ottawa game a couple of nights ago. So for me, it's over 5.5, and the draw. I did dabble in Montreal money line small as well, but my intention is to add more during the game if they end up falling behind, because I think there's a bounce back spot. The one thing about Dallas is they've been a little bit flighty, a little bit erratic. They're not, and look, they were down 2-0 to Ottawa the other night, and they credit to them to come back. But like I said, they didn't play a great 60 minutes the other night against Ottawa. I could see Montreal being victorious in this game, especially knowing they get Dallas with DeSmith and avoid getting Dallas with Jake Ottinger. Alex, what do you think here? Stars, Habs.
Yeah, you mentioned it. All the spots here where this screams for a draw, and I like that spot a lot as well. Plus 320 is the best price available at BetMGM. Shop around. The DraftKings might have some better prices as well. So definitely shop around, because this is one that's teetering, one that you don't want to go below 300. For those who haven't been betting with the draws, plus 300 is kind of my cutoff point. You start getting to the 290, 280 range, then gets a little wonky. So shop around for the best price available. But also within Dallas, they said 4 of their last 8 going past regulation. Those 3 games on the road, all against Eastern Conference opponents as well, which that is part of the draw season criteria. When you have 2 cross-conference teams, their points are not battling against one another necessarily. They just want to get their own points. So if it's a close game late, you don't necessarily see a team trying to rush forward, and risk putting themselves behind and losing the game. It's one that'll kind of coast over. So give me the draw here.
All right. And again, Aaron, thanks for pointing that out again. It looks like DraftKings is the best in the market right now with this draw as well.
DraftKings, 320.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is the best price I see currently. David, what are you liking here? Dallas, Montreal.
Yeah, I don't have anything here either, but I do agree. I think the draw might be a good play. I don't know if I want to take it with DeSmith in net. Probably lean to the Canadiens, but that's about it.
Yeah, I'm not there, Jonathan. I get what you're doing and saying there, betting every draw tonight and the rest until the numbers. Yeah, I get it, but I'm being a little more selective. Like, I'm not hammering every game to the draw, but I'm definitely higher volume on draws at the moment than I've been in recent memory. That's for sure.
This is where Chris Otto's charts come into play. If you want to pick 3 or 4 teams at the top and just start riding them with draw, Ottawa's a great team. Montreal's a good team to start. Philadelphia is a good team. You can just start riding those waves.
Yeah, definitely. There are definitely stronger, stronger draw situations, stronger teams for it than others, and those are the ones we're absolutely looking to target. For me, for props, just quickly here, Sam Steele on the top line with Johnston and Rantanen. As far as that goes, there's definitely good value there. I'm going to go back to the usual suspects for me with Montreal. Kapanen, who's been pretty solid for them. I like that look as far as him getting on the board now on the second line, too, for the Montreal Canadiens. All right, next up, we've got Anaheim and Detroit. Detroit minus 140, home favorites here, 6.5 the total in this game. Alex and I, we've become kings of the Anaheim Ducks fan club. I truly believe that with how much we love this team and how much we've backed them this year throughout the season. We figured this team was going to have some improvement. We loved the hire of Joel Quenneville. Thought this team was going to take a big step forward. We thought Lukas Dostal was ready to be a number one goaltender. Thought they'd improve a little bit at the defensive end of the ice. Minchikov would get better. Jackson Lacombe, veterans too on that blue line to help them out, that they'd get better defensively. We just thought this team was primed for improvement and challenge for the playoffs. We did not expect them to be obviously in the mix to be leading the Pacific Division right now, but certainly we are not totally surprised by the strong start to the year for the Anaheim Ducks. That being said, this is a team that did have their win streak snapped the other night against Colorado. They have played a ton of hockey, a crap ton of hockey lately in a short period of time. And for the first time, they've been basically finding ways to win and overcoming the fatigue, overcoming the significant amount of games in a short period of time with the adrenaline of being such a young team playing great, and they found ways, but they finally looked a little haggard, a little tired in the third period in Denver the other night against Colorado. Delay a game penalty, a bit of a fatigue mistake, and Colorado was able to cash in with the power play goal that put that game away. And now you could travel a couple time zones over to Detroit to continue this road trip against a Detroit team that's lost a couple in a row, that hasn't played since Sunday afternoon when they were beaten in their own building by Chicago, Alex's Hawks, 5-1 on Sunday. It just feels like for Detroit, it's such a great advantageous spot, right? They've had several days off after losing a couple in a row. Todd McClellan was talking to the media saying, it's been so great to finally get a couple of real hard, full practices in with this team because the schedule doesn't afford that. Like, this is very rare air for a team in the situation Detroit's in tonight to be off from Sunday to Thursday. There's not been for many teams that big of a gap in their schedule between games. So that's probably a good thing for Detroit coming into this game, that they got so much practice time in to try to get things turned around. McClellan's making some line changes because this team was not scoring in the last few games before this little break in their schedule. Detroit had been really held down offensively, scoring just one goal in their last 3 games combined. 3 straight losses to Vegas, the Rangers, and the Blackhawks, and only scored 2 goals in those 3 games combined. So there's a few lineup changes here for Detroit. John Gibson will start for the Red Wings against his old team, but this is not that big of a deal. He already got into a game against his old team in Anaheim where the Ducks beat them 5-2. So it's not like this is a novelty here. This is John Gibson's already faced Anaheim as a member of the Red Wings. Peter Mrazek is going to get the start here tonight for the Anaheim Ducks against one of his old teams. He's been around the block, but Detroit certainly one of his former teams. We'll see how he fares. Now, to Mrazek's credit, 2 awful games from him against Boston and San Jose early in the season. He was terrible in those 2 games. I remember it. But in the third period against Vegas, he was really good. It was the best period he's had all year, and it was overall the best game he's had. And he was in net for that Anaheim win against Vegas. That being said, even though it was his best game and best performance, that game still went over the total first period, still went over the total full game. It ended 4-3. And that's where I'm focusing. This is one night for me to pump the brakes on betting Anaheim. Not tonight. I just don't like this situation for them. Detroit's been off for several days, off 3 straight losses, with Mrazek in net too instead of Dostal. This is the night for me to pump the brakes on betting Anaheim. So nothing for me on the side. I'm not going against them either, not at this price, but I'm not on Anaheim tonight. I am on the first period and full game over, though. Over by factor it is for me. I think we'll see some goals. It's also been a strong over series history, Ducks and Wings in recent meetings. All three Mrazek starts this year, first period over and full game over, have both cashed. So first period over, full game over for me here, Anaheim, Detroit. Alex, what do you think? Ducks, Red Wings.
Yeah, it's been a nice run with this Anaheim Ducks team. And like I said, it's a team we love, a team that we will certainly be continuing to back, but not here. Not tonight. Give me the Red Wings tied with the over 4.5 and get minus $1.02 with that parlay over at BetMGM. I will be looking for that first period over live because you're seeing everything between minus 145 up to as high as 160. So definitely wait a couple minutes and try and get a better price on that 1.5 in game. But I think Detroit gets the victory. Like I said, having that time to not only get practices in, but then just kind of get acclimated. Like I said, just have some downtime. After playing so many games, this condensed schedule, that can be hard for certain teams. I think we could see a boost of energy here. And I think for Anaheim, we just may see a little bit more of the deflation of air after having that loss against Colorado, now coming out of the altitude, having the streak snapped. There's times where we see those losses kind of carry over. I think this could be a carryover spot here. So I like Detroit tied with the over 4.5, and we'll be on that first period over in game.
Yeah, a great quote from McClellan talking about it. We don't get a lot of time during the season to practice the way we did on Tuesday. We just can't because you have so many games in a short time frame this season. It was physical, a lot of battling, and so it gave us a chance to have a hard practice like that. It just feels like Detroit's going to play hard, play well tonight, in my opinion. We'll see if that's the case. David, what are you liking here? Ducks, Red Wings.
Yeah, I think this is a great spot for Detroit, honestly. They're up a few tough games. They got kind of unlucky against the Blackhawks. They had 5.5 expected goals. Didn't quite get it done. I think Mrazek
Soderblom special that was.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But I think Mrazek's just a massive downgrade from Dostal. I mean, he's minus a full goal above average per game so far. Obviously, small sample size, but last year he was minus 14 for Detroit. I think it's just a massive difference. I mean, the Red Wings have at 5-on-5, they have a 42% actual goal share and 50% expected goal share. I think they're going to kind of turn it around here. I think this is a really good spot for motivation too, especially with Gibson losing the first meeting. I think they show out. I think they win this one handedly.
All right, there you go. DeBrincat. Again, you're not getting great prices when you're betting Alex DeBrincat to score. That being said, I think he's going to get one tonight. They were talking about how he's got to, he wants to get going a little bit now on this homestand offensively. So maybe look at that. It looks like Emmett Finney, who's been on the top line a lot, he's going to get shifted down to the second line with JT Compher and Patrick Kane. And even though I'm on Detroit, not on Detroit, but even though I'm not on Anaheim from a side perspective, doesn't mean I can't bet Leo Carlsson, to score a goal. And I think I should. 4 straight games with a goal. He's been absolutely outstanding for the Ducks. So definitely going to look toward a goal prop for him going into this game here tonight for the Anaheim Ducks.
I recommended it the other night, and it cashed. Leo Carlsson tied with Nathan McKinnon. You can tie Leo Carlsson to maybe Dylan Larkin and McPhinney. You could tie Leo Carlsson to anybody on the other team they're playing against for a point parlay, and it probably end up being a fairly decent chance it hits.
Yeah, the first period, I don't mind that. If you're interested in Detroit, and I know Alex has the Detroit and over 4.5 parlay, but the first period money line, is not bad. I could see them maybe getting the jump in the first 20 minutes of this one.
I might end up looking at them first goal since I'm already looking at first period over.
Right.
So, that's a way you can play that too.
I think a good look. I think Detroit can put up some goals tonight. I think the over 6.5 parlayed with the Red Wings is a good look.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. You'd get a really good price on that. Like if you put Detroit with over 6.5
or 220.
Yeah, you'll get a good price on that, no question. All right, Edmonton, Columbus. I don't know if either team's in a great scheduling spot here, but we got Columbus minus 120 home favorite, 6.5 the total. We got Columbus off a long road trip out west, and only 48 hours after coming back from Seattle. That's not great. That doesn't scream like a bet on spot, but at the same point in time, Edmonton's on a back-to-back, and it's a weird game last night because they started out slow. Philly could have been up in the first period. Edmonton gets the late Bouchard first period goal, And then Edmonton dominates territorially second period and into the early part of the third. And then Philly starts to get going and they tie it. And Philly ends up probably could have won the game, but it gets called back because of offside. So that was a weird game. Both teams felt like they had instances where they were going to win last night. But the Oilers did have the territorial edge for most of that game. That being said, on a back-to-back with Pickard in net and a revenge spot, because Columbus just pissed it away against Edmonton last week in Edmonton. I remember that. They were up by 2 goals, 3-1 and 4-2, and lost 5-4. Connor McDavid went all Superman in the third period in that game and willed the Oilers to a comeback win. The Jackets do still have the flu bug a little bit, but I think it's starting to wear itself through the room. I think they're in a little bit better shape in that regard. That being said, the captain is out tonight, Boone Jenner. He will not play for the Blue Jackets in this game. That being said, here's how I played this game. Smallest bet for me is Columbus, -120. I'm still going to take a small shot with them in this spot. Revenge spot. Edmonton on a back-to-back. Edmonton's still not all the way back, in my opinion, as well. Not to mention Pickard's kind of been more bad than good early in the season. And I'm also on over 6.5. Not the first period over, just the full game over here, 6.5 with the Oilers and the Jackets. Oh, and the draw. This is another draw for me. You can't pass up the draw with Edmonton right now. This is a team that's having a hard time gaining separation and building a margin against opposing teams. All their games have been razor close of late at the Edmonton Oilers, with the exception of them getting whipped by Colorado 9-1. But you go back and look at their last 9 games. The Edmonton Oilers have gone past regulation in 6 of their last 9 games. Of course, the game in Edmonton was one of those games between these two teams that went past regulation. We have a Columbus team that ended that 5-game road trip going past regulation in each of their last 2 games. So very, very strong draw indicators here with the Oilers and the Blue Jackets. So I am on another draw here with this Edmonton and Columbus game. I know at FanDuel it is at +340 right now. Alex, what do you think? Oilers, Blue Jackets.
Yep, that is the best price available with that draw too that I'm seeing. I see +333 at MGM. I need to get DraftKings up, but just check around the shop. This is definitely another great draw spot. Like I said, Edmonton's one of those teams. Once again, if you're looking to back a team and just continue rolling a trend along with the draw, this is definitely one of them to do so. And I'm going to take a shot here too. I know Jonathan Davis mentioned it the other day with a different game, but both teams to score 3+ goals, +160. You can get that at MGM. Like I said, that's just kind of just another way to betting that over. But I feel like this could be another back and forth kind of a game. It's funny how Columbus, and Edmonton, we're talking about teams that on paper don't seem to match up and align well, but their styles, we say styles make fights, and their styles have always made for some entertaining games back and forth. And Columbus really seems to give Edmonton trouble. Even though they lost that game, they had the upper hand for the majority of that contest the other day.
Yeah, and remember, this is East versus West. So again, the other team getting points is not what you don't care. You're not concerned one bit. I know it was a very brief moment at the end of the third period of that Oilers-Flyers game last night, but look at the end of that third period as a perfect example. Right after the Flyers had that goal disallowed and the score was rolled back to 1-1 with 20 seconds left, the Flyers won the faceoff. They didn't press for a goal in the final 20 seconds. They just ragged the puck back to their own zone and just let the clock run out in the third period and just made sure they got a point in the bank. That's a perfect example of what Alex and I have been talking about with the draws in an Eastern Conference, with an Eastern Conference team versus a Western Conference team. Yeah. You are going to not give 2 shits about the other team getting a point because it has no bearing on your particular playoff race or divisional race. And we saw that at the end of the third period in Philly last night.
And that's more of a thought process that really converts into the actual draw season when we're talking about playoff positioning and things in March and
Yep.
April. It's not so much here. The kind of way to contextualize that in the first half would be in the sense of, you have long road trips, games against teams that you're facing often or within your division seem to be, you have more energy, you're a little bit more emphasis on getting those points. Where you kind of lay it back against a cross-conference team, especially on the road, and you're in the middle of the trip. So you just try to get the point. You have to grind it out sometimes. So the thought process is a little different first half to second half of the season, but the results often end up the same.
No doubt. My bargain bin is, I believe, going to come from this game, but there's a lot of props that I'm interested in here. Jack Roslovic has scored overtime winners 2 straight. No, no qualms looking toward him. Adam Fantilli, he's scored in back-to-back games for the Jackets as well, heating up as we talked about. And there are a couple of lineup changes for Dean Evison tonight. He's got Luca Del Bel Belouz and a returning Kent Johnson to the lineup with Sean Monahan, it looks like, on the top line for them tonight. I think for Edmonton, Matt Savoy, Roslovic, Mangiapane, Podkolzin, those 4 guys flanking Connor and Leon, there's definitely value in their goal props for sure, as long as they stay with those 2 players. David, what are you thinking here? Edmonton, Columbus.
Yeah, I think this is a really bad spot for the Oilers off 2 straight Jack Roslovic overtime winners. I mean, you got to be running pretty good for 2 straight Jack Roslovic overtime winners after watching him with the Canes last year. But Blue Jackets have won 4 straight expected goals games. They're looking a little bit better, and of course, one of those is that brutal loss against the Oilers a few nights ago. I mean, I had the over in that, so that worked out pretty well. But you got to think they're looking for some revenge there off of that late blown lead. And I think this is an underrated goaltending mismatch as well. I think Pickard in the last 40 games, minus 11 goals saved above average. Jet Greaves, I think we might need to start giving a little more respect to. He saved 30 goals over expected in 30 games with Columbus. So, yeah, I think he's got to get a little more talk about him, and I think they're a great.
We love Jet Greaves around here. We've been talking and praising Jet Greaves since the end of last season. Like he's definitely a kid who's on the rise.
When he took the net, David, last year and almost got Columbus into the playoffs, remember, Columbus was right on nipping at Montreal's heels down the stretch, and they just ran out of racetrack. They ran out of games. But they were right there. And Jet Greaves was the one they were winning all those games with Jet Greaves in net late in the season. So, yeah, we're big fans of Jet Greaves. We think he can be capable at this level. Yep. Good stuff. All right, that's about it. Yeah, Buffalo and Colorado. We've got Colorado minus 350 home favorites, 6.5 being the total in this game. The first period goal indicators are not, well, it's stronger with the minus 400 favorites taking the big dog to score in the first period, but I've got a sneaking suspicion after Colorado, an ultra satisfying win, knocking down this high-flying upstart Anaheim team, knocking them down a peg the other night, beating them 4-1 in that game, that maybe they just start a little slow tonight. And Buffalo was pissed about the top guys not showing up. Tage Thompson, Alex Tuck, that line was horrible for the Buffalo Sabres last night. Didn't do anything really, even though they scored 2 goals. They really did not muster up much of anything offensively in that game. Talking about the need to be better here in this game. This is obviously a brutal spot. There's going to be no back-to-back in the NHL these days that is harder than going from Utah in thin air altitude and elevation to Denver, also thin air altitude and elevation. But I could see Buffalo getting on the board in the first period. I've talked myself, I didn't mention this on Jimmy's show earlier that I'm on Thursdays, but this is something I've kind of talked myself into since that show. At minus 120, Buffalo goal in the first period. I'm going to dabble in that here tonight, thinking they could get on the board early. Maybe they lose their legs later in the game. But I could see them starting out decently. And Colorado, maybe after the big win against Anaheim, it takes them time to ramp up. I like over 6.5 here because I believe we're going to get, and by the way, the last 2 games in Colorado, we've seen 4 and 5 goals from the Avs. So I'm on, it's a weird deviation for me in this game of how I'm betting it, because I'm on Buffalo in the first period to get a goal, minus 120, but I took Colorado team total over 4, minus 120, and also over 6.5 here for the full game. I think we're going to get Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen in net here on the back-to-back. We have not seen UPL in a bit, and when we have seen him, he hasn't been great. He gave up 3 goals on only, 14, 15 shots against St. Louis. The last time we saw him, has not been sharp when he's been in net for the Sabres this year. The locals are getting frustrated with, he's just not progressing to be the goalie they thought he could be. It looks like this could be a Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, picked a backup Pepper start for the Buffalo Sabres here tonight. And then for Colorado, it's going to be Mackenzie Blackwood. And I'm telling you, Mackenzie Blackwood has not been at his best so far. He's not been at his top form. He's been fighting it. whether it's rust from the injury, just not finding rhythm, starting every other night. He hasn't been able to this year. He has not been at his absolute best in the early going the few times we've seen Blackwood this year. The 2 games, he gave up 3 to San Jose, 4 to Vancouver, 7 goals in those 2 games combined for a 3.41 goals against and an .875 save percentage, which is not that great. So the door could be open for Buffalo to chip into this full game over. And I think Colorado takes care of the rest. So Buffalo first period goal, Colorado team total over 4, and the full game over 6.5 for me here. Alex, Sabres, Avs.
I'm just going to go with the old Matty Rob special. I'm going to tie that first period over 1.5 with the full game over 5.5. You can get that minus $1.12 at FanDuel. I'm expecting goals here, and I'm expecting more of the goals to come Colorado's way. I could see this being an avalanche, pun intended, of goals on, like you said, either whether it's UPL or a Lion. I think this is just a bad spot here for Buffalo. So give me goals. Like I said, just tie it in the first period over to the full game over and a parlay minus $1.12.
4 straight road overs for the Buffalo Sabres, too. 4 straight Sabre road games have gone over the total. 4-3 against Toronto, 4-3 against Boston, 6-3 against Carolina, and 5-2 against Utah. So 4 straight Sabre games have gone over the total on the road. What do you think here, David? Buffalo, Colorado.
Yeah, I like Colorado here. I think they've just been dominating everybody. The last 4 games, they have a +9 expected goal margin, and I can't say Buffalo looked good in that third period last night. They looked pretty exhausted, and then of course that was pretty deflating to give up 4 in that third period and lose. It's a bad spot going to elevation in Colorado against just probably the fastest team in the league. UPL, I mean, I don't know why they just keep trying to believe he's the guy. He's had a negative goals allowed above expected in like 5 straight years. I mean, it's just not. He's got -3 in 3 games so far. Yeah, I don't know why they keep giving him chances, but yeah, I think the Avalanche put up like 6 or so tonight. I think they win like 6-1. I got the -1.5. I would take it up to -150.
All right, good stuff. I'll say this about AM, who is in our chat, and he has these systems that he bets, and apparently Buffalo fits this system. I'll be the first to give him all the adulation, praise, flowers, you name it. If he's in the chat tomorrow or the next couple days and Buffalo wins tonight, we'll give him all the praise for that if they are able to get it done. It's ballsy. It's bold. I'll say that. Buffalo at the plus.
I mean, the only thing you can look at price-wise is Buffalo.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, of course. I mean, if you're going to bet a money line, yeah.
Yeah. If you're price hunting plus 300,
you have to get creative to bet Colorado. Yeah.
I just don't think it's a great idea. So.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out, no doubt. It does feel like they're up against it. We'll see. And Colorado has like 5-1 and 7, something like that. But the last 2 times they've hosted Buffalo, yes. Actually, you know what? It was a 6-5 overtime game the last time they hosted Buffalo. So Buffalo did push them. But before that, they won 5-1 at home against Buffalo before that. So we'll see how this one plays out tonight. As far as props, Lekkonen's heating up. We don't mind looking toward that direction with him maybe as far as a goal prop. I'm going back to the Gavin Brindley well. Jared Bednar's moved him to the second line with Nelson and Colton. So there's some real good value on Gavin Brindley here tonight, in my opinion, for the Avs. And then for Buffalo, Tage Thompson and Alex Tuch called themselves out. Lindy Ruff kind of hinted at it. We didn't get anything from our top line last night. So if you're going to target motivated players for Buffalo, that would be a good place to start with those guys, because they know they got to be a hell of a lot better, Tuch, Thompson, that line, than they were last night against Utah. All right, San Jose, Calgary. We've got Calgary -160 home favorites. The total here sitting at 6 across the board. My only little fear in this game is that the Calgary Flames have beaten San Jose 6 straight times, but these teams are in completely different stratospheres right now. Calgary can't score. They're struggling. Dustin Wolf's been up and down. The defense hasn't always been solid, but they're struggling to score. And San Jose, Macklin, Celebrini, Will Smith, this young core, and what they're doing offensively, people are just raving about it. But at the same point in time, the defensive play from the Sharks is not getting talked about enough. They have given up 1 goal in each of their last 4 games, all of them victories. Yaroslav Askarov is starting to play like that first-round draft pick that he was selected by the Predators years ago. And the team has bought into better defensive play. We're seeing it now during this 4-game win streak. Calgary still cannot muster up enough offense here. Wolf and Askarov are confirmed in net. It's just a price that I refuse to turn down on the San Jose Sharks right now. So San Jose plus 140 for me. This is a game I actually lean under with. I could see that like the San Jose Sharks are a bit of an under team right now. They're committing to defense. They've given up 2 goals or less in consecutive games. Yeah, there you go. 6 straight games, says Rich H, 2 goals or less given up by this San Jose team. And we know Calgary can't score half the time. So, like I said, this could be your under here to look at. But I'm on San Jose here, plus 140. We talked about this the other day with Minnesota and San Jose. You want to stress and be nervous about laying a crazy price like that with Minnesota and, worry about that? Or do you want to win or lose, be a little more at ease with a big plus price with a team that's playing the better hockey right now? And that's kind of what I feel here. If you're taking Calgary, you're going to be nervous the whole game at a crazy price, minus 160. That's not the way to live. So San Jose plus 140. Like I said, very impressed with what I've seen from the Sharks. Alex, what do you think here? San Jose, Calgary.
Better team and a plus price. That's it. Sharks plus 140. I also grabbed a little piece of that team total over 2.5, minus 128, because, yes, it is a Wolf start, but he's still got the 6 red traffic cones in front of him. So I could see the Sharks getting 3 goals here.
And we talked about it, even though we thought there's a chance Anaheim's going to have a tough time beating Colorado. But let's say you laid the crazy price with Colorado. Even in that game, it's 2-1 in the third period. You're not home and cool. You're still a little nervous. You're still wringing your fingers, laying a huge price like that. So like I said, with these, it's dubious to be laying prices like this against these teams that are kind of feeling it right now. What do you think here, David? San Jose, Calgary?
Yeah, the Sharks are kind of a team I'm looking to sell, and the Flames probably a team to buy, but probably not at this price. I mean, the Flames just have no creativity on the offensive end, and the Sharks have speed. So definitely not a spot I would want to lay 160 with. But yeah, nothing for me.
All right, pass for David here in this one. Prop-wise for me here in this game, I think as far as by the way, there's a Rory. They're putting a kid named Rory Cairns in the lineup. Ryan Huska, Calgary, with Kadri and Farabee on the second line. So if you believe he might be able to kickstart their offense, they're definitely going to get some value with his props right now. I mean, anything Celebrini, at this point in time with what he's been able to do has been remarkable. So looking at Will Smith has been good scoring goals lately for the San Jose Sharks. So those are a few props that I'd be considering there with the Sharks and the Flames. All right, 2 games left. We've got Winnipeg, Seattle. Winnipeg minus 140, road favorites, 5.5 the total here in this game. Alex and I were both on the Jets against Vancouver in their last. It was a great spot to take Winnipeg, right? They had lost to LA, San Jose, and Anaheim. 0-3 to start their road trip. Figured they would give a really good effort against the Vancouver Canucks. I don't think they played great, but they did play well enough to win that game against the Canucks. And now they take on a Seattle team that I'm concerned, because Seattle, that couldn't have been a better situation for them against Columbus. Columbus is rolling in there on a back-to-back. They played a lot of games on the road, and then all of a sudden, you've got them obviously rolling into Seattle on a back-to-back after a crushing loss the previous night to Edmonton. And then, of course, now you've got them in a situation where Columbus rolls in there and beats them the other night. So that was very disappointing for the Seattle Kraken. The scheduling spot couldn't have been any better for them the other night against Columbus, and they could not get the job done. Now they got a Winnipeg team that's trying to build a little momentum after snapping that 3-game losing streak. The loss to Columbus, actually it was Dallas they lost to, Seattle before that. But that 2-1 loss for Columbus on the back-to-back, not winning that game that was a missed opportunity for the Kraken. And now Winnipeg rolls in here looking to finish the road trip here with 2 wins. Not to mention Winnipeg, it's actually a revenge spot for Winnipeg. They got shut out at home by the Seattle Kraken just recently in Winnipeg. October 23rd, Seattle, 3-0. They shut out the Winnipeg Jets in that game. Even though Winnipeg had the edge in shots, 32-28, Decord was brilliant in that game. 32 save shutout for the Seattle Kraken over the Winnipeg Jets in that game. But you're not going to see him tonight. You're going to see Philip Grubauer, and this is a guy that has not been good in 2-3 years as far as a goaltender at the NHL level. He just hasn't been. His best days are behind him. I know he's had a couple glimpses here and there. And with Decord sidelined on IR for Seattle, this is going to be tough sledding for them because you're rolling moving forward with Matt Murray, who's actually been okay in his first couple starts, but I don't see that lasting, and Philip Grubauer, who you just can't trust him. I think Winnipeg gets it done. Revenge spot. Don't lay minus 135, minus 140 on the road very often, but I'm making an exception here, taking the Jets as a road favorite, minus 140. Alex, what do you think here, Winnipeg, Seattle?
Yeah, I'm not going to lay 135 or 140 in the road because I'm going to take this in regulation with the Jets. I got plus $1.10. I also like the team total over 3.5 to get that plus 130 over at FanDuel. Like I said, Grubauer has been a mess. And I think without Decord, this Kraken team, we're going to start to see them regress into who they really are. And it's a mediocre hockey team. So give me the Jets here in regulation and team total.
And Winnipeg's had a good time of it here at Climate Pledge in Seattle. With the 3 straight wins here in Seattle for the Winnipeg Jets entering this game here tonight. David, what do you like in here, Jets Kraken?
Yeah, I like the Jets a lot. I think that Joey Decord he's been holding up the Kraken a good bit. They are dead last in 5-on-5 expected goal share. So yeah, I would take this just based off goaltenders alone. Grubauer with a negative 24 goals saved above average and 65 starts the last 3 years. And Hellebuck, of course, is plus 86 in that span. So yeah, skaters alone, I would take this off goalies alone. So yeah, I play this up to minus 150.
All of us in various fashion on various forms, I should say, on Winnipeg. As far as props for this particular game, for Winnipeg, Jonathan Taves, man, I'm going to take the old Captain Serious tonight. He scored last game against Vancouver, plus 400. Pretty nice price here for him in this game. I think he's starting to become a little bit more dangerous the last couple of games I've seen of Winnipeg. He's been a little bit getting a few more chances. Remember, this is a guy that hasn't played hockey in a very, very long time. So you knew it was going to take time for him to get his sea legs under him and really start to feel comfortable. And like I said, definitely continues to be, I think, get more comfortable here with this Winnipeg Jets team. And so I think taking a shot there with him maybe to find the back of the net is worth a look here in this one. All right, our final game for this Thursday slate, the New York Islanders and the Vegas Golden Knights. Vegas minus 180, home favorites, 6 the total in this game. Vegas is going to win eventually. Will it be tonight? But yeah, possibly. No doubt. I mean, they've had a few days off. They're not seeing them play their best. After that pretty good start to the year, this Vegas team, it's just 1-4 in their last 5 and just 2-6 in their last 8 games. They've lost 3 in a row, all at home during this homestand to Tampa Bay, Anaheim, and Florida. They're 1-4 on this homestand. They haven't played since that loss to the Florida Panthers on Monday night, 3-2. So it seems like it's not a bad scheduling spot for Vegas. They've been at home. They're off 3 losses. They're going to be looking to bounce back, yes, but the more my first thought was I do like the first period over in this game specifically. I know it's cooled off a little bit in recent Vegas home games. It hasn't been automatic. There's been a couple of Vegas first period unders at home, but I think this game with them off 3 straight losses, come out storming, and try to find the back of the net. So I do like the first period over in this game, but I'm going to dabble in the Islanders here at plus 160 because I looked at series history. They actually swept Vegas last year, going 2-0 against the Vegas Golden Knights. They won 4-0 here at T-Mobile Arena in Vegas, and then they won 2-1 at home against Vegas last year. They've won 4 of the last 6 meetings against the Vegas Golden Knights, 2 of the last 3 here at T-Mobile Arena. Ilya Sorokin, who's going to get the start tonight for the Islanders, not only is he playing better of late, and he really is playing better. If you look at the numbers here, he was in net for the win against New Jersey, handing the Devils their first home loss of the season, 2 goals on 35 shots. He was in net for the shutout against the New York Rangers. He has now given up 2 goals or less in 3 of his last 4 starts. He has certainly played a little bit better in net for the Islanders of late. And Sorokin, he has 2 shutouts and a 1.98 goals against average against Vegas in his career. It's really remarkable. He has been tremendous against the Vegas Golden Knights in the past. So this is one of these price plays for me. I'm daring Vegas as a monstrous favorite to prove they're worthy of being a minus 180 favorite against an Islanders team that's playing a little bit better, a goalie that's getting some confidence back, a team that swept Vegas last year in both meetings, so they know they can beat this Vegas team, and a good enough price to take the shot, in my opinion, with the New York Islanders. So Islanders for me, plus 160, and I'm on the first period over here as well. Alex, what do you think here? Final game, Islanders, Golden Knights.
So, yeah, I like this full game over at 6. I did play this small. I will be looking to grab first period over in-game at a better adjusted price. But I'm right there with you with the Isles. I also like the draw here at this spot, plus 350. So it's a dog and draw spot for me. And with that, I will be taking Matt Barzal at 80-1 to get the overtime game-winning goal should this one go past regulation.
There we go. So Islanders win an overtime game-winning goal for Matthew Barzal for Alex. He's been taking a few swings with that prop market this year, and he's already hit a couple. So we'll see if that can come to fruition again here tonight. David, what do you think here, Islanders and Golden Knights?
Yeah, I'm actually opposite of you guys. I'm taking Vegas here, minus 180. I think it's a tough spot for the Isles. You're off back-to-back wins over your crosstown rivals and the Rangers and the Devils. Obviously Sorokin is fantastic, but they gave up 2 goals on 9 expected goals in those 2 games. Vegas off 3 straight home losses. Obviously, I wish Aiden Hill was in. They're a lot easier to bet with him in, but I think Vegas shows up here. I think it's a tough spot for the Isles.
Yeah, it's a fair assessment. I even as someone that's on the Islanders, I think it's not the best spot for the Islanders. And I think it's a really good spot for Vegas. I totally agree with that. But again, this is the perfect example of, for me, betting prices, and you're betting numbers, not teams. And like I said, at the plus 160, it's worth the swing. It's worth the swing of the bat with the New York Islanders here at this price. But like I said, there's no doubt for the Islanders coming off those 2 wins. Ranger game, Devils game, New York City, New York area rivalries that you have with those 2 teams. It may not be easy, here against a Vegas team that's probably frothing at the mouth to get back in the win column with the way this homestand's gone. So that's good. I like when we're opposite every now and then. Like I said, it makes the show better. It wouldn't be fun if we all agreed. It wouldn't be a sports betting market. There wouldn't be freaking sports books if everyone was on the same side. That's what we always say as far as that goes, no doubt. As far as props for this game, Emil Heineman, it's broken record at this point that I like Emil Heineman props, but we're going to keep rolling with it as long as he stays up on the top 6 for the New York Islanders, and still with Horvat and Palmieri. Holmstrom, worth a shot here as well, in my opinion, for the Islanders. For Vegas, I'm going with close shave Barbashev. Dorofeyev's got to get rolling. He's been quiet lately. I could see that. And here's one that I'm going to maybe look at here. It looks like he's been called up from the minors for the Vegas Golden Knights, and it looks like he might be in the lineup, and not only in the lineup, but with Hurdle and Dorofeyev on the second line. Now, again, it's his first NHL game with Vegas, but Braden Bowman is the name. Braden Bowman for the Vegas Golden Knights, going to be on the second line for them, it looks like, here tonight, making his first appearance for the Vegas Golden Knights. So, again, should be interesting. Summoned from Henderson, the Silver Knights, of course, the AHL affiliate. So, maybe a little Braden Bowman prop sprinkle here in his first game this season with the Vegas Golden Knights, especially if he's going to get that position that it looks like he will, second line opportunity on the right wing side with Hurdle and Dorofeyev. All right, great stuff. Great card. Great Thursday night, hopefully ahead. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. Make sure you check out wizardsportspicks.com. Again, great roster and stable of handicappers on that website. You can find me there, Alex B. Smith there, Matt Robinson there. Ton of great handicappers. Been a very good, profitable run on the website. It's an all NHL card for me tonight as far as premium picks on the website. A nice 18-10 run in the NHL at wizardsportspicks.com. So make sure you check it out. And again, Beyond the Lines, the video series, the daily video series at the Wizard Sports Picks YouTube channel. I have a Beyond the Lines show I did today for Thursday, and I'll be doing it for Thursdays and Sundays moving forward. So make sure you check out the YouTube channel as well. All of the Wizard Sports Picks YouTube channel, along with the website, wizardsportspicks.com, and of course, patreon.com/iceguys, $10 per month. Again, everything's there, goalie charts, totals charts, bonus content. We will have an exclusive live betcast for our Patreon members only in November later this month, and that's in addition to the free-for-all betcast that we have coming your way next Tuesday, November 18th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, our next live betcast. But we'll have a Patreon exclusive live betcast later in the month as well, which will be announced the day of the betcast. And of course, check out our daily betting card, sides, totals, player props posted each and every day on the Patreon page. $10 per month. Your subscription goes a long way to supporting the show and keeping us going long term. So again, $10 per month, patreon.com/iceguys.
Also, check out the Ice Guys store, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. If you visited last night, you'll see we've got the new Bargain Bin logo T-shirts. We've got the Get Frank T-shirts for you Hawks fans. We've got all kinds of merch and items available right now. And you can save 20% off. You hit the redeem button at the top of the homepage, add all your items to your cart. 20% will be available for you at checkout. There's 4 days left to save 20% off. That's at iceguys.myspreadshop.com.
Yeah, wow. I think this Braden Bowman mention of mine for Vegas in that last game, it's getting even stronger because it looks like not only is he going to be on the second line, but it sounds like Braden Bowman might be on the first power play unit for Vegas tonight. I'm seeing him listed there at the moment with Eichel, Marner, Hurdle, and Theodore on that number one power play unit for the Vegas Golden Knights. So he's worth a sprinkle then for sure. No doubt, especially if he's going to get that top power play assignment for the Vegas Golden Knights. So there you go, Braden Bowman here tonight for the Vegas Golden Knights. Like I said, even more so worth a look if he's going to be playing power play for them here in this game tonight. And you can get him, plus 350, at FanDuel. So good price. All right, bargain bin special of the night and best bets coming up right after we hear from our great Ice Guy sponsors.
Wizard Sports Picks, featuring the finest handicappers in the universe. Sharp insights, trusted picks, and relentless results. We strive to help you become consistent winners. This is Wizard Sports Picks.
Where the kings and queens shop.
Check out all our sponsors, including Royal Cannabis, royalcannabisshop.com, 20% off using the promo code IceGuys. And yes, Royal Cannabis is right down the road from David. They're Randleman, North Carolina. So thanks to our brand new smoke sponsors. All right, bargain bin special of the night. Tons to choose from. Alex, what do you like for bargain bin special?
Yeah, we got that Pacific Division showdown with San Jose and Calgary, and Sharks have been rocking and rolling. We're just going to pick a guy who's been contributing in a big way. We've seen him scoring goals and getting some assists. 2 points tonight for the Fresh Prince of the Bay Area, Will Smith. You get him to get 2 or more points at plus 400 over at FanDuel. That's my bargain bin special for tonight. Will Smith of San Jose to get 2 or more points.
The Fresh Prince of the Bay Area. Yeah, there you go. Will Smith for the San Jose Sharks. Bargain bin special of the night for Alex P. Smith. David C., what do you got for us? Bargain bin special.
Yeah, I got an interesting one. It's not quite a prop, but I'm going to parlay the Blue Jackets -1.5 with the Red Wings -1.5. I talked earlier about why I like them a lot. I think it's good spots for both of them. It should be in the plus 750 range.
Wow.
I'm not sure what you guys are seeing, but
yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a good spot for both of them to win in regulation by a few goals.
There you go. I like it.
Yeah,
How about
something
that?
different.
Very
I like
creative bargain bin
creativity.
special.
Yeah.
Plus
Love that.
750. Detroit puck line minus 1.5. Columbus puck line minus 1.5 parlay. Plus 750 for bargain bin special of the night for David. All right, I got two. You know I like this angle. I like this angle quite a bit. It's appeared before, and it's appearing again in the Edmonton-Columbus game. Guy healthy scratched, health bombed, as they say on Spit and Chicklets. Back in the lineup, gets a kick in the pants, obviously, when you're a healthy scratch. It's a wake-up call. I expect that to be the case in Columbus tonight for Kent Johnson on the top line tonight for the Columbus Blue Jackets after being a healthy scratch in the last game. Back in the lineup, on the top line with Monahan, plus 385, Kent Johnson to find the back of the net tonight for the Columbus Blue Jackets. That was going to be my only bargain bin special of the night. But now, after seeing this stuff with Braden Bowman, and now he's going to play on this top power play, I'm going to add that as a bargain bin too. Braden Bowman for Vegas, plus 350. Again, second line, and it looks like number one power play for him in his insertion into the lineup for Bruce Cassidy and the Vegas Golden Knights. So Kent Johnson, Columbus, plus 385, and Braden Bowman for Vegas, plus 350 for my two bargain bin specials for this Thursday card. All right, best bets. Alex, what do you like for best bet?
We're going with that Boston-Ottawa draw. You can get that as high as plus 350. I'm seeing plus 340s as well. So shop around, get the best price available. We're rolling and we're rocking with draw season. Let's go with Boston-Ottawa to go past regulation here tonight.
All right, Boston-Ottawa draw for Alex B. Smith with his best bet. David, what do you got for best bet?
Yeah, it's been tough. We've lost the two I've had in overtime so far. So I'm going to go with the Blue Jackets. I think it's a great spot for them. Obviously, off that unfortunate loss when they blew the lead to the Oilers a couple of nights ago. Good spot with the Oilers off that almost near loss and then winning in overtime last night. I think it's a great spot for them. I think Jack Reeves in net. I think they put up a good showing.
All right, there we go. Columbus money line. You can get that at as good of a price as minus 116 right now with Columbus money line. Best bet for David. My best bet, I'm going to go with a side. Most of my best bets have been totals, but we had a side winner last night. New York Rangers as a dog. It was not only a side, it was an underdog. I'm going to go with another underdog tonight. I like Washington here tonight. I think it's Florida has just not shown an ability to win 2 games in a row. Florida is winless 0-3 with Daniil Tarasov in net. He's getting the start tonight. I know we're not getting as good of a price on it as we did earlier in the day, but you can still find as good as plus 108 out there right now with Washington. I think they get the job done down in the FLA tonight. So Washington Capitals plus 108 for my best bet here for this Thursday NHL card. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. Great show. David doing a great job with us on Thursdays. A reminder, too, next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, Ice Guys Live Betcast. Looking forward to that. Hopefully it's as fun and as profitable as the Frozen Frenzy Betcast last month was. So looking forward to that on Tuesday night. Reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms. For Alex B. Smith and David C., I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Thursday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we are back Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern for another edition of the Ice Guys.